Vox propaganda. Stay awake and come to understand. It's a bombshell headline from Russia, an alleged assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin. The culprit, according to the Kremlin, it's Ukraine. The Russians have already put their bombers on alert. Explosions are being heard in Ukraine's care zone. It's all very confusing and uncertain right now. So first, let's hear the Russian version of events. The assassination bid is said to have happened last night. 2 drones were used to strike Putin's residence inside the Kremlin compound. Russia says the attack was repelled. Remember, the Kremlin is one of the most secure buildings in the world. Its electronic defense apparently disabled. The drones, is there any evidence for this? Well, so far there isn't nothing concrete. All we have is this video being circulated on Russian social media. It shows a flying device heading towards the Kremlin, but as it gets near, it bursts into flames. Could this be a Ukrainian drone? Ukraine says absolutely not. They claim to have no knowledge about the attack. Listen to this regarding drones over Kremlin. Everything is pretty transparent and clear, but I will talk about it anyway. First of all, Ukraine undoubtedly has nothing to do with it, because there is no military value in such actions. President Zelenskiy is not in Kyiv today. He's in Finland for a summit with Nordic countries, Ukraine's ally. The U.S. is also saying the same. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he would take anything coming out of Russia with a huge shaker of salt. And so these videos, they're not verified as of today, they're just claims from Moscow. And that's the tricky part. It's hard to verify things in a war. It's one version versus another. Let me quote Russia's official statement. 2 unmanned aerial vehicles were aimed at the Kremlin as a result of timely actions taken by the military and special services with the use of radar warfare systems. The devices were put out of action. The Russian side reserves the right to take retaliatory measures where and when it sees fit. Where was Putin when the attack happened? Not at the Kremlin. He was working from his residence outside Moscow. Russia says fragments of the drone fell near the Kremlin. There were no injuries or casualties. Moscow is also linking the attack to Victory Day. It's celebrated on the 9th of May. It marks the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. So lots of claims from Russia. The question is, what do we make of them? At first glance, it does seem far-fetched for starters. Just look at the video. Does that look like a lethal drone trying to kill the president? It's gently floating towards the Kremlin, almost waiting to be blown up nonetheless. Let's look at the 2 possibilities here. Either Ukraine did it or it did not. Possibility number 1, Ukraine did try to kill President Putin. They keep saying that ordinary Russians are against the invasion. So if you take Putin out, perhaps the war ends like cutting off the snake's head. The second possibility is this: Russia is bluffing. An attack on President Putin is an excuse to escalate. In fact, Moscow has already warned of it. Their statement says Russia reserves the right to take retaliatory action, and remember, alleged assassination plots are not new for President Putin. Reports say he has survived 5 attempts. None of them has been officially confirmed by governments. Many critics also dismiss it. It is propaganda as an attempt to build the mystery and aura around Putin. Was this a similar case? Well, the timing is certainly suspect. Multiple sabotage cases have been reported in Russia in the last few days, most of them near the border with Ukraine. 2 trains were derailed in alleged sabotage attempts, one on Monday, another on Tuesday. Russia has blamed Ukraine for both, but Kyiv has been silent. They've neither confirmed nor denied any of these claims. And that's one reason why this assassination story is spreading fast. Another reason is the looming counteroffensive. Zelensky says it will start soon. Listen to this. This is why I am sure we will soon have aircraft, because we will soon conduct an offensive. And after it, I am sure we will be given planes. I would rather it was the other way around, as it would be easier for us. But it is like it is. And we are grateful for everything you must have said. Ukraine wants to retake territories occupied by Russia, if that is indeed the case. Then a Russian escalation could blunt Kyiv's plans. It could also keep Zelensky preoccupied, meaning counterattack delayed. But like I said, these are all just possibilities. The real facts of the matter are nearly impossible to ascertain. Why? Because this is war, and truth is the first casualty of war. Zelensky says he has survived at least a dozen assassination attempts, a dozen in just over a year recently. He said he would have fought to death if Russia attacked his compound, and days later this happens. If Ukraine did plot this attack, it's a laughable attempt. Using drones at the Kremlin is like plunging needles into an elephant. It's pointless and counterproductive. Plus, a failure would give Russia the initiative, something that the Kremlin already is doing. The next couple of hours will be crucial in this episode. An assassination attempt on the president of a nuclear state is no laughing matter, especially when that state is at war. We can't say whether the attack was fake or real. But here's what we can see. This may lead to an escalation. So both Russia and the West must show restraint. It's important to not raise tensions further with irresponsible statements. We'll be tracking the story closely. Fox propaganda. Stay awake and come to understand.